Well, this is certainly disappointing. I wouldn't waste your time coming here. Well, I don't know. This is my opinion. Waste your time coming here if you are ever in Tainan, in Taiwan. This is the Anping fort, which was founded by the Dutch as Fort Zeelandia. And if I remember correctly, it was built like in the 1680s, but to me it looks like it was built in the 1980s, right? Like I look at this and I'm just like, oh man, they built this in 1988. So if you're a connoisseur of forts, you might not like this one. You know, if you've been to the Caribbean, if you've been to Havana or Havana, Cuba, or San Juan, Puerto Rico, or any of these places in the Caribbean or in Europe or in Asia where they have these colonial European forts, I think this one might be a bit of a disappointment for you. It doesn't really seem authentic. I walked past it, I was looking for it, and I didn't think this was it. Like I saw it and I go, no, this can't be it. Because it didn't look like a Dutch colonial fort from hundreds of years ago. And then I thought, wait, this is the fort? And then it was quite a letdown when I found out that this was it. So, Anping is the Dutch colonial part of Tainan. It's the part of the city that was a Dutch colony. About 400 years ago, when this island was called Formosa instead of Taiwan. So I was kind of excited to come here, but really, so far, I don't see anything to me that looks like old Dutch colonial at all. It looks very 1980s. Even the neighborhood does. I think the dogs find it as boring as I do. Here are some cannons that's faintly reminiscent of a fort. I think it's these bricks. Like, there's something about these bricks that just doesn't look like. Maybe I visited, what's it called, El Moro in Havana, and they didn't have bricks like this. This looks like my old house in Texas, in the suburbs of Houston, where I grew up. The Newport house was built of bricks exactly the same color. And I think it was a house that was built in the early 1970s. Yeah, I guess so, because we moved there in 1973. Maybe in the late 60s. And this tower, to me, is the most egregious thing. I mean, come on, this is not the tower of an old European colonial fort from the 1600s. This is the control tower of a small town airport. Really small airport. Built in the 1970s and the 1980s. So, that's it. The Anping Fort. Judge for yourself if it's worth a visit. Oh, now this looks old. Yeah, this actually looks authentic.